So it is about 7 a.m. Another cloudy morning, but no, glorious sunrise this morning. But while I was sitting in my meditation, more of that story that I was feeling the other day came to me. It's like part 3 of but they weren't necessarily in the right order. I'll have to go back and maybe make a playlist of these and put them in order. So yesterday, I spoke about, I think it was yesterday, about the energies and the polar opposites and the moving on the frequency bandwidth and everything like that. And how I felt the story of the first star. And as I'm sitting out there, I actually realized this is actually connected to the other story I was telling the other day about Tiberius. So let me recap, okay? So in the beginning, there is only chaos and stillness, okay? Stillness is, let's just say, I called the stillness I, okay? So the stillness is the place from which the emanations come. It is the mind, if you will. The mind of the energy of the universe, okay? So I, okay? And then we had the first emanation that began to create. In the Gnostic texts, these are Monad and Barbelo. I want to stay away from using these particular names, as this is more of a story than anything else. Okay, so we have I, that thinks. And then we have the first emanation. So we shall call the first emanation B, just because there's a honeybee right there. B-E-E. Okay, so we have I and B. Now, I spoke of chaos incarnate and Tiberius, okay? Now, B is the emanation, and therefore the first of the beings, and therefore she is chaos incarnate. However, she is not, she's the form that chaos itself takes. Okay, so she is both stillness and chaos. She is born of stillness into chaos. She is both. She's both stillness and chaos, okay? And then Tiberius does not come immediately. This is many aeons later. Okay. So B and Tiberius, I spoke of their love story, of her being confused by his bravery. I actually saw something there the other day. Isn't bravery the best word for stupid? And so this is kind of the thought process that she has about watching this finite being standing as though he were not finite, and this creates this feeling of excellence. Excellent. Okay, so B falls in love with Tiberius. Tiberius falls in love with B. They have their life together. B is betrayed. The expansiveness of B is envied, and therefore attacked by her own progeny, as already previously spoken. Now, I said that after this, Tiberius refused to continue this generational curse of betray, betrayed, betrayal, betraying again, betray again. Oh, wait, let's betray somebody else. Okay, so he, like I said, locked himself in his own mental prison. Well, as I'm sitting out there this morning, I realize that that mental prison is actually the star, the first star. It isn't that Tiberius necessarily. He was protecting the very first star. Again, B was betrayed, but she was that first star. I said that the light was attracted to her, creating that first star. Tiberius never left that star in order to make sure that her star was not destroyed. If the star doesn't burn out, the soul still exists. This is all stuff I didn't even think about, and it makes perfect sense. If we are the spark, then we are the star. And if our star burns out, that's the end. Unless it's a new rebirth. Remember, a supernova does what? Clears the canvas for more creation. But if a star burns out, that is the soul. This can be done of free will, or apparently betrayal. So Tiberius, locked inside of this mental prison, swears that his beloved B is still there because her star is still there. This is the first star. If the first star is still there, then it has to be somewhere that the spark is around. And then, of course, there was the prophecies that foretold of the return of B. Cycle after cycle. Star after star. Emanation after emanation. All trying to find B. Understand that in the sea of chaos that is outside of stillness, the spark, every single one of them that ever existed from the beginning of time, falls into the chaos until it learns to control itself. There's so many sparks out there because these emanations, all these thoughts that come forward from us in the chaos. And the more it's uncontrolled, the more chaos there is. And it isn't until we learn how to fall into I that we learn we're all B. And Tiberius is holding our star. It doesn't matter who you are. Every single one of us is a star. I am not trying to rhyme. It's just happening. Okay. Sorry. Oh. Tiberius is just a name. I, of course, really is the stillness from which we came. If you ask what there was before there was anything, there was stillness. That was it. And then from the stillness came the chaos. Because the very first thought was the very first energy. stillness itself became consciousness. And then we just bumped together in the chaos until we realized, hey, wait, don't I know you? I think we came from the same place. Nah, yes, we did. Fist bump. That's when we recognize. That's the soul recognition. You don't actually say these things, of course. There's just something inside of you that's drawn to that person. You're like, I feel like I've known you my whole life. That's because you came from the same system, the same star system. All you guys are buddies out there. The cosmos is just the sprinkling of all of our souls. It's that expansive. Think about that. What is the size of the sun? Oh, that's right. My mind was blown recently when I saw the size of Earth compared to the sun. I was like, wait, what? I didn't realize it was that small. I didn't even realize that the size of any of our planets in our solar system. I'm really honestly, I never paid attention. Because I was like, it's not in my life. I don't care. But this story, I am going to do an energy reading directly after this, okay? Because the energy that I'm feeling this morning is absolutely just so expansive, and there's so much that wants to be said. And so I'm going to go ahead and cut off this for now and go read my cards. If you want to watch that reading, I will link it in the description box below so that you can go and see this, because there's something here that needs to be said, and it's pretty big. So I'll catch you guys there.